I usually wear black, so this is, particularly.
It's okay.
We're going to give it one more minute.
Okay.
Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
We have a little holiday fatigue.
Yeah.
So we are small but mighty here in the sanctuary, and Shabbat Shalom at home. It is good to be together. Good to end the week with Shabbat. Let's begin our service, as we always do, with setting our intention, with setting our space. Let's take a deep breath in and release. With this next breath in, we breathe in and think about all of those things that were stressful, that made us angry, and we think about those for just a moment. And we release, letting go of all of those things. Because with this last breath in, we breathe in the sweetness, the beauty, the calm that is Shabbat. And release. We continue setting our space and our intention with opening song. Our opening song is Shalom Aleichem, which means welcome to all of you. You can find it on page 24, or for those of you at home, it'll just magically appear on your screen.
Shalom Aleichem. Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Shalom, Shalom. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu, Hakadosh Baruch Hu, Shalom, Shalom. Ba'achem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Shalom, Shalom. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Hakadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom, Shalom. Peace be upon you, angels divine. Shabbat Shalom. Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Shalom, Shalom. Mi Melech. Malachei HaShalom, Malachei HaShalom. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shalom, Shalom, Tzedchem, Tzedchem l'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Shalom, Shalom. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shalom, 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 Shalom,
That beautiful song is a fairly new piece for us.
It's Beth Stiles.
I think it's just the second or third time.
I think so.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Thanks, Deb.
I hope it catches on. I just love it.
We turn now to light our Shabbat candles. The candle lighting is found beginning on page 3. We have begun, as you know, our ritual here in the sanctuary because so many of us loved lighting Shabbat candles at home during pandemic. If you would like to come and light your own Shabbat candles here and also at home as we light here on the Bima, page 3. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We continue with Kiddush on page 4. The heaven and the earth were finished in all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God stopped on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on that day, God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh, zecher letziat mitzrayim, ki vanu v'chata V'otanu kidashta michol hamim v'shabbat kachecha be'ava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
L'chaim.
Our opening reading is not found in your Siddur, in your prayer book. It's called Heart Sukkah, and it's in honor of Sukkot. It's by Jennifer Rudick Zunikoff. If you don't have a sukkah in your yard this year, build one within your heart. Make sure a wall is open and loved ones, sacred guests, and fresh air are welcome, and you are always willing to see the stars. Page 28, we find the Baruch Hu, the call to worship. We rise in body or in spirit for the prayer.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed.
We continue on page 31. We read together. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv, Aravim. Page 34 and 35, we join together in the watchword of our faith, Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavcha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam levanecha, vedibata bam, beshivtecha bevetecha, uvlechtecha vaderech, uvshochbecha uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, vehayu letotafot beinenecha, Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru ve'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim, lihiyot lachem le'elohim, ani Adonai Elohechem.
Michamocha is found on page 40. Michamocha is actually the end of the redemption prayer, the Geulah. It's the reminder that God has redeemed the Israelites from Egypt. They are traveling through the Red Sea, and as they finish the travels, they stop and they take a moment to sing. What they're singing about is God's greatness. So this is our redemption song. We take a moment to think about our freedom. And we sing this every Shabbat because we were freed from Egypt, but not everyone is free. And so we sing so that others and everyone one day can be free.
Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai la lai lai yai lai 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 lai. Yai la lai lai yai lai 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 lai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neda b'kodesh, nora tehilot osefele, nora tehilot osefele. Malechutecha ra'u v'necha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe. Zeh anu ve'amru, Zeh anu ve'ameru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai la lai lai yai lai 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 lai. Yai la lai lai yai lai 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 lai.
Page 42, we turn to Hashkivenu. For a number of years now, I've been teaching about Hashkivenu as our evening prayer, our evening lullaby, and been focusing on one phrase, the Sukkot Shalom, that we ask every evening. We sing this song that God provide for us a shelter of peace, a Sukkot Shalom. Well, it is Sukkot, the holiday of the Festival of Booths, which is a terrible translation, but we have a sukkah outside, and it is this beautiful festival of Thanksgiving, a festival when we remember when the Israelites were traveling, and where did they live? In impermanent homes. And so tonight, we're going to move things around just a little bit. In a moment, we'll sing Hashkivenu, our song, our evening lullaby. Then I'm going to move our Devar Torah, and we'll move our anthem as well, teaching around this concept of protection, of impermanence, of thankfulness, which are all themes of Sukkot. So we turn to page 42, and we take a moment to think about the protection that God gives to us spiritually, and the protection that people we love may need.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. Lehamidenu shomrenu lechaim. Ufrotz aleinu sukkot shlomecha, ufrotz aleinu sukkot shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us Wake with morning's light, teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Amen.
On Sukkot, we are taught two main things. One, that we should dwell in booths for 7 days. And two, that it is our time of rejoicing. These two seem a little bit in contradiction of each other, because I don't know about you, but if I'm going to dwell in that booth out there for 7 days, I'm not going to always be so happy. So it seems a little bit of a contradiction. So what is Sukkot about? The other thing that happened with Sukkot years down the line is that the book of Ecclesiastes was assigned to be studied during Sukkot. And it is in trying to figure out this connection between why do we read Ecclesiastes on Sukkot that we can figure out a little bit about why a booth and joy might come together. So you may have heard of the author Rick Riordan. You may not. I have a teenager, so I live in a slightly different world than many of you. Rick Riordan is famous for fantasy novels about the Greek gods in the 21st century. They've been wildly popular for some time. In the series, Rick Riordan brings Greek mythical lore to life through the life of Percy Jackson, a half-blood, a teen boy whose mother is human and father is a god. As of January 2022, the books have sold more than 180 million copies worldwide, making it one of the best-selling book series of all time. So our home falls into the statistic of one of those 180 million books. And when Percy Jackson was everything all the time in our home, I learned quite a bit of Greek mythology. I learned, for example, about Sisyphus, who was punished for his trickery. What was his trickery? He cheated death not once, but twice. So he tricked Hades, the god of the underworld. My son always says king, which is wrong. The god of the underworld. His punishment, once he finally got caught, was to push a boulder up a hill. The moment the boulder reaches the top of the hill, it would roll back down and he would start over. And so it would continue for all of eternity. The punishment was to doom Sisyphus, this was Hades' goal, to doom Sisyphus to an endless, useless task, to a meaningless existence. Sisyphus, though, seems to outsmart Hades once again. He finds meaning in the task. He decides to become the best at this assignment. Sisyphus creates meaning in what seems to be meaningless. There is a similarity between this Greek myth and the book of Ecclesiastes. The book of Ecclesiastes, as I said a moment ago, is read during the Shabbat morning of Sukkot, or the Shabbat of Sukkot. Ecclesiastes, or in Hebrew, Kohelet, is the name of the main character who is spinning this tale of woe, is attempting to find meaning, and he's a man who has everything. It shares the existential struggle to find meaning despite experiences of the world. In chapter 1, the angst is felt immediately. He says, "What real value is there for a man in all the gains he makes beneath the sun? One generation goes, another comes, but the earth remains the same forever." In the end, Ecclesiastes teaches us to concentrate on the matters that we can control without losing sleep over those we can't. Just like Sisyphus, we look to make meaning in our lives with what we can control. And what's the answer? What is Sukkot about? On Sukkot, we recognize our impermanence. We go out into a temporary, flimsy booth. Just as the weather is turning very cold or wet or muddy, we don't shy away from the impermanence. We proclaim, however, that we do not live in a meaningless, absurd universe. We are created in the image of God, and God has given each of us a role to play in the universe that matters. The impermanence of the sukkah is a reminder to make the most of every day, to live life to the fullest, as though today might be your last. When, as it says in Ecclesiastes, the sun and light and moon and stars grow dark. The connection between Ecclesiastes and Sukkot is a message of hope, not futility. Like Sisyphus, we can find purpose and satisfaction in the tasks of everyday life. We can create and we can share, we can heal and we can love. Maybe it's not all that we would like, or for as long as we would like. But God provides us with these famous words: there is a time for every experience under the heavens. Turn to page 360. Page 360. Can I help you?
Yeah, just clip it onto there for me. Thanks. Thanks, Mom. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time of love, a time of hate, a time of war, a time of peace, a time that you may embrace, a time to refrain from embracing. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. a time to gain, a time to lose, a time to rend, a time to sow, a time of love, a time of hate, a time for peace. I swear it's not too late. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven.
It is also time to rejoice in the fact that it is Shabbat. And so we will turn to page 44 and continue with Vishamru. Trying to give you some time.
Thank you.
Continue with Vishamru, which reminds us that Shabbat is a time for respite, for renewal. The last word in Vishamru is Vayinafash, which means and was refreshed.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, et HaShabbat, la'asod et HaShabbat, l'dorotam, berit olam, brit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti, oti le'olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti, oti le'olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, et hashamayim ve'et haaretz, uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat, Shabbat vayinafash.
Continue with the tefillah, which can be found on page 46. Beginning on page 46, first we recenter ourselves, and then we will chant straight through page 46, page 48, 50, and 52, reminding ourselves of the first prayer is that we stand upon the shoulders of our forefathers and foremothers, God's greatness and the sanctity of this day. Please rise in body or in spirit.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekone Hakol, Vezocher Chaste Avot Ve'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor leolam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah Rav lehoshia. Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim verofech cholim. Umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, lishene afar, michamocha ba'al gevurot, umido melach, melech meimid umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua. V'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, ukedoshim bechol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Please be seated. We turn to page 60. Page 60, Shalom Rav. The word Shalom means peace. Rav means abundant. As we sing Shalom Rav, we think about all of those people, places that are in need of peace. And we especially think and pray for those in Ukraine who continue to struggle and learn and look for peace and hope for peace. We sing together.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom, ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam.
We take time in our service to think about all of those who are in need of healing, whether it be a healing of body, a healing of spirit, healing from mental health issues, from spiritual struggles, from just hard times in life. If you are at home, I hope that you'll lift up in the chat all of those whom you love who are struggling. And here in the sanctuary, as my hand passes over the congregation, I hope you'll share aloud the names of loved ones who are struggling on this Shabbat, that together our prayers will give them some strength.
Jane and Michael.
be. We join together in healing song. If you need the words, middle of page 253.
Makor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. And let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu, makor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We take a few moments now for silent prayer and reflection.
Adonai Turi Begoali, Adonai Turi Begoali. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. Yiyu leraton imrefi ve'egyod libi lefanecha. Adonai Turi Ve'Gali, Adonai Turi Ve'Gali.
turn to Aleinu, page 283. Please rise, body or spirit. Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto you, who spreads out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else.
ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Seated. Our memorial meditation is found on page 290. As you turn to that page, it's my sad duty to inform the congregation of the death of Harry Lehman, the father of Matt Lehman. The service will be this Wednesday in Columbus. It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch, a fearful thing to love, hope, dream, to be and to lose. A thing for fools this, and a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing to love what death has touched. On this Shabbat, we remember those taken most recently from our temple family. We remember in Shiva in the first week since his death, William Bill Rosner. And we mark the yahrzeits, the anniversaries of death that fall on this Shabbat. Ruth S. Affelder, Robert J. Anthony, Evelyn Edgert Anthony, Joseph I. Birkenfield, Jerome Blonder, Leonard M. Blum, Minnie Carl, Sam Cohen, Leonard S. Daniso, Walter Paul Deutsch, Danny Dubb, Elaine Boots Fisher, Helen Fleischman, Charles Friedman, Julius Goldfarb, Dorothy Bennis Gradison, Saul L. Guttmacher, Eugene S. Halley, Tony R. Hart, Jerry Sheldon Hirsch, Benjamin W. Kaplan, Morton E. Kent, Howard B. Klein, Sanford Levine, Ronald Maydow, Dorothy Mann Marcus, Gertrude Marks Miltziner, Ann Phillips, Lena Piloff, Lillian Piloff, Zelda Porty, Helene Rosenberg, Elaine Shagrin, Sidner Shapiro, James M. Stone, Isidore Tiktinsky, Irene G. Weber, Arnold B. Weil, Edith L. Weinberg, Philip Weinstein. Our griefs and sympathies are mingled as together we turn to page 294 for the mourner's Kaddish. Please rise in body or in spirit. Yid Gadal v'Yid Kadash Shemei Rabbah v'Alma Divra Chirute v'Amlich Malchute v'Chayechon v'Yomechon v'Chaye Dechol Beit Yisrael ba'agala v'Izman Kari v'Imru Ameh Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Leolam Almei Almaya Yid Barach v'Yish Tabach v'Yit Pa'ar v'Yit Romam v'Yit Naseh V'yit Hadar, v'yit Haleh, v'yit Halal, Shemei Dekudasha Barichu, Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Osei shalom bimromav, buya aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and give comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say together, amen. Please be seated. It's my pleasure to invite Susan Merdler to come forward for some announcements and greetings.
Shabbat Shalom. Firstly, thank you to Rabbi Van and Deb Rogers for our beautiful Shabbat service, as well as the beauty that we all experienced during the high holidays. It was just a very spiritual, lovely environment and experience. Also, many thanks to our dedicated STKA staff and leadership, and special recognition to our board, ushers, and members who volunteered to help us throughout these high holy days. Our announcements. If you haven't already checked out our sukkah, which is right outside, it was decorated by our creative art tent learners. Please make sure you do so after the service. And we move on to our final celebration of the high holy days, Simchat Torah. This Sunday at 5, we celebrate Simchat Torah and then share a light dinner afterwards at 6 p.m. It'll be a challenge for you to choose just 1 or 2 classes for the second trimester of our tent. We have packed your options with classes about Jewish politicians, genealogy, identifying your feelings, exploring thoughts about God, and more comedy. Go to our website and read all the class descriptions and then sign up. Sign up today because it's the last day of membership sign up, and then it opens up to the community. So we want to make sure you get the class that you really want. Please also take note that our fall gatherings are getting ready to begin, and more information is on our website. So please check that out and register as well. Don't wait too long. The Kol Nashim Book Club is beginning October 24th with a discussion about the book People Love Dead Jews. For more information on how to join, please contact via email Charlotte, or you can talk to Muriel right there in our congregation tonight. On Wednesday, October 26th at 7, we are co-sponsoring a presentation by Nadav Tamer. He's the executive director of J Street Israel, and he'll be discussing the upcoming Israeli elections. We hope you can join us. We continue to comply with the CDC masking guidelines put out by the Cuyahoga County. Yellow this week indicates that our temple activities masks are recommended for those who are high risk. As always, please refer to our website, Temple Times, for our current COVID policies, and you can also check out what the door announcement says. I hope you get a chance to enjoy this lovely weather we're having in our gorgeous sukkah. Shabbat Shalom.
Speaking of a sukkah, we have quite the closing song for you. You might not know all the words, but you will know the melody.
Yes.
Right, Deb?
I hope so. Should we tell them or just start it?
I think you can just start it.
Okay. Oh, when the month of Tishrei comes, you know it's true. And the autumn sun beats down and shines upon you. Under the sukkah, just wait for me, yeah. And we'll spend Sukkot together, that's where we'll be. Now join me on this part. under the sukkah. Shake the lulav, shake it with the etrog. We'll celebrate. Don't those veggies look great under the sukkah? Sukkah. Can you see the gourds of yellow, gold, and red? Oh, how I love to see the cranberries hang above your head. Under the sukkah, just wait for me, yeah. And we'll spend Sukkot together, that's where we'll be. You know this part. Under the sukkah, shake the lulav, shake it with the etrog. We'll celebrate. Don't those veggies look great under the sukkah? Sukkah. Now they say the Jews were wandering in deserts dry, but through the roof of their flimsy booth they saw stars up in the sky. Under the sukkah, just wait for me, yeah. And we'll spend Sukkot together, that's where we'll be. One more time, here we go. Under the sukkah, shake the lulav, shake it with the etrog. We'll celebrate. Those veggies look great under the sukkah. Sukkah.
I'm not sure what
So-
was more fun, the song or watching you.
Well, and I have to say, you guys know that I love to write parodies, but this is not one of mine. This is Julie Silver's, so we have to give her credit where credit is due.
Yes. So please rise for our benediction. Please rise as able for our benediction.
Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha.
May the light of God's presence shine upon you and be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'yasem lecha shalom ve'yasem lecha shalom.
May God lift up each one of us and may God bring us shalom. May God bring us peace and challah.
Peace and challah. All right, here we go. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our prayer is humbly said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Which means bon appetit. Shabbat
Shabbat
shalom.
shalom.